Check. Check, check, check. Check 212. Guys, are we live? Are we freaking live? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Wednesday. It's a midweek update. Don't forget to hit the like button and strap in for more content. I think we're live. Refresh. We're live. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Well, Quimber, he's not late. He's just negotiating a deal to end the bear market. I'm like Trump, boys. I'm just going for the best deal ever. I'm probably going to ask Crypto.com for tariffs. And actually, that's not even that far off from the truth. Guys, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. Let's talk about the new CEO of Cronos Labs. Let's talk about the crow chart. That's not really pretty. And let's also talk about all the other stuff that's happening. I've got some great tweets lined up. Talk about an extended cycle, potentially also a 6-year cycle. Let's talk about all of that, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to strap in by hitting the like button according to trends. We're live. Live, loud and clear. That's good stuff. That's very good stuff. Before, though, we're going to go into the nitty-gritty details of the market. I wanna say thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for all the support for the last 8 years, almost 8 years. We've been making crypto, or we've been making content on YouTube. We started actually with gaming content, but in 2020 we transitioned into crypto content. Yes. So, after 8 years, we have 10,000 subscribers. And I know to many it's not a big deal. To me it is. To me it is because we've been working for this for a very, very long time. And yes, we're not a big channel. Not at all. But it is like killing a zero for a new token. For me, guys, it's a big milestone. And I hope also now, other channels can take me a bit more seriously as well. We have 2 digits now. 2 digits, 10K. Thank you very much. I was hoping for more. Of course I was. But honestly, with the market conditions, this makes total sense. Let's keep building though. And I would say at some time, we'll probably will go even bigger. But yeah, thank you guys. Without you, it was not possible. So thank you. Time for the market. Thank you, by the way, Bjorn. Thank you, Pete, everyone. It's great. Coin barrier, Mike is blocking the crow price. I think that's better. I think it's better that it's blocked, right? Guys, this is the chart. Interesting chart today for Bitcoin. This is the hourly, so it's not too significant. But we had a crazy run up and then a crazy dump. All within the matter of an hour. That is so strange to see, guys. Welcome. Do you see what just happened here? We went from about 86 to 90 and now down to about 85. Crazy day so far for crypto. Unfortunately, like this crazy behavior for Bitcoin also made sure that Bitcoin dominance started going up again. Like altcoins, they don't know what to do with this. They are like, do we pump? Do we dump? Clearly, if you take a look at Ethereum, like Ethereum today, it broke something important. It broke something important. This trend line here. We've had this trend line for a long time. Unfortunately, though, you can see that today, with that big dump, we went below about 2,900, breaking there for the trend. And Ethereum is leading for altcoins. So when Ethereum broke down, and of course this can still be a fake out. It might even be a fake out. So that we get something like this, definitely not unheard of. But with Ethereum breaking down, also Crow, it broke down a bit more. So it created a lower low. Oh well, the lowest low so far since July of 2025. That's something we need to watch. I believe we have a bigger structure. You can see the structure we created here. Let me go zoom out a bit more because this is not really visible. And let me also remove quickly EDW. I've got here theory. I'm going to talk about it later. But what we have here is that right now, Crow is all the way back to the trend line. all the way back to the trend line starting from March, and we touched it again in July, and then now it is December. So my thesis, my big thesis here is that we're getting very close to the bottom. I told you already in yesterday's video, I think it was yesterday's video, we are probably within inches really of the bottom. It is the bottom, or we are within inches of the bottom. You take a look at the MACD. I want to show you quickly the MACD, the weekly MACD, because it shows you some interesting signs. We haven't had that many red weekly MACDs. Actually, let me go to a different chart. I think this one has a bit more information on it. We're also going to talk about this fractal, by the way, because I do believe we're still on track. But here it is. So far, this cycle, I can show you that. Every time we went from here, let me quickly remove this, or else you can't see it. You can see every time we flip from the real red into the light red, it was actually good for the market. It was very close to a bottom. So we had a bottom, I believe, about now. We have also had a bottom here in March of 2025. And also here, we had a bottom within only inches of the MACD making a good flip. The time before that, same deal. Bottom exactly after the flip. Then we also here got the bear market of May 2022. It was a bit different, a little bit different. So we had a local bottom, but we did dip a bit lower from about 9 all the way to 6 cents. So yes, in that case, it went down about another 40%. Time before that, though, was a bottom. Time before that also marked a bottom over here. So I would say typically, like the track record, it's pretty good. When the MACD flips on the weekly, we're typically very close to the bottom. One exception, and that is that flip here in May of 2022. So is this more like May of 2022, or is it more like all the other examples we've had? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I stick though to my personal belief that probably it is like all the other examples. As of now, we can hold on to it. Trade MCGA. Or you can trade the stock. Well, the stock doesn't hold any CRO yet, so I don't know why that would be safer. Welcome though. GG, welcome. Howdy. From Texas? What do you think about CRO with knife? I have no opinion about that right now. I think like what we need to care about now, Gene, is that we need to take a look at CRO. If CRO doesn't succeed, and also CRO with knife doesn't succeed, if CRO does succeed though, CRO with knife might be a bit of a leverage play with CRO. It can maybe how do you say that? It can create outsized gains for CRO. But yeah, this is the MACD, guys. Quite important, quite interesting to see how history has repeated in the past. So far though, Bitcoin is at this also quite important trend line. It is tottering at about this line, and this line, it is basically also showing that we created higher lows. So far, yes, we've still created higher lows. Not much, but it is actually quite interesting. We are now though at a very boring range. I do believe that soon probably will be going up again to about 90, 94-ish, maybe 95. But it's getting boring now, especially at the lows. Bitcoin is getting quite boring. MCAJ barely moves from like 10.12 to 10.13. At least you won't be losing money. No, but also you won't be making money. Maybe though, it is a safe play now. But let's say CRO goes up before the MCGA company actually starts trading with CRO. MCJ is like a stable coin, isn't it? Gold is still moving up. Gold is, as we talked about, it closed the highest weekly close ever. It hasn't created a higher high yet, but it is very close to one. Let me check MCGA though. MCGA it's really boring. MCGA has been stuck between like 10 cents and 10.15 for about 4 weeks now. Interesting though. You can see it. It started trading at about 11. I think it can go way higher though. When Crow fails, we should rent a gigantic school as the whole Crow family live and cry together. Why is school though? Let's start in a hotel. Hey, there we go. We go up again. That's nice. That's very nice, actually. So if we can actually bounce from here, guys, it makes total sense. It makes total sense if Crow will bounce from about this line here. We've done so multiple times already. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So watch the blue line. The blue line is so far also going higher. I do believe we're very close to a bottom. That's my my belief. And this is a bit of a, I don't know if it will play out. A bit of a feeling I have. So is it maybe a W? Is it maybe a double bottom? Bit of a crooked double bottom. I think you could make the argument. Of course, we cannot say that yet. There's no indication of a bounce. But if we get a bounce, maybe we get a good recovery. Especially because that was quite interesting. It's a bit of a crooked bounce, I gotta say that. Maybe it's more like this. Anyway, so we can potentially have a good W pattern here. Especially because you can see this wick on Coinbase. When we had the announcement of the new CEO, some crazy stuff happened. Some crazy stuff happened. From 9 cents, we went all the way to 12 cents in a matter of an hour. Just let's remove all the noise. Crazy stuff. And why was that? Well, I think some insider trading. I think somebody said, well, wait. We're going to get a new CEO. We'll have a burn vision. That's freaking bullish. And it is. Like, fundamentally, it is one of the most bullish things ever. And if we add, for example, now the volume for Coinbase Pro, you can also see that the volume went to the roof. Big volume. I think there was about 10 million of net Crow buys at that point. And it completely destroyed the order book to the upside. Let's cook indeed, sir. Mark Cameron, welcome. That's, I think, the catchphrase for the new CEO. Let's cook. And I love it. Pro gang, leave a follow and reach the 1111. 1111. I would like that. Joyo, bro's going nowhere, bro. It's sad but true. I completely disagree here. And this is actually quite interesting. Let me show you this tweet. Let me show you this tweet. And still again say that we will go nowhere. Because I think it's a bullshit statement. Especially also if you check the chart, by the way. You cannot say to me that we go nowhere. If you check this chart here. It is going all over the place constantly though. But this is how it trades, guys. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But take a look at this recent statement. It's time for a change in the direction of Cronos. One that really unlocks the opportunity we have in front of us. The current generic L1 ecosystem strategy doesn't play to our strength. So we are fully rebooting the project around one clear goal. Building revenue generating products that contribute to Crow and simple on-ramps into DeFi for crypto.com's 100+ million users and beyond. Instead of competing as another ecosystem L1 on undifferentiated block space, Cronos is becoming a vertically integrated product company. That is big. We're going to talk about that later. will build first-party apps on top of the chain, leveraging the trust Crypto.com has built with institutions and users to distribute a cohesive suite of first-party applications, with their economics contributing directly to CRO buy and burn. CRO buy and burn. Ladies and gentlemen, the burn program is back. It is so back. It is so bad, guys. It's honestly cool. So Cronos remains permissionless for all developers to build on, and partners and developers benefit directly from the new direction. Crypto.com is injecting its distribution, liquidity, and resources into the ecosystem via first-party dApps, driving the volume and execution quality that elevates every application on the chain. Guys, it is all here. Crypto.com is injecting liquidity and resources. This cry buy and burn will be big. I believe so. Time to cook. And also, in general, I'm just very bullish about Ryan. You can disagree with me, but I think he has a good track record. He has a good vibe. He has the approachability. He is active. I think we have a banger of a CEO now for Cronos Labs. And honestly, I didn't know we needed a CEO, but now we have one. I'm happy. Potential for growth if planned. Yeah, absolutely. We can ask Grok. But I wanna show you a different token quickly. I wanna show you Hype. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid, ladies and gentlemen. This is currently, I would say, one of the top 10 tokens this cycle. Or it is, I think, maybe the top gainer this cycle. You take a look at the overall performance. It went from $3 all the way to 60. And this chart, I don't know, this chart is weird, if you ask me. This is a weird chart. Anyway, from $3 to $60, doing a 20x. And how is this possible, guys? That a simple token, Hyperliquid, is making so quick gains? Well, because the Hype token is actually mostly related not to the blockchain, but to the Hyperliquid platform. And what does Hyperliquid do? Well, Hyperliquid is a leverage platform. And with all the money they make, the revenue, they buy and burn the Hype token, therefore propelling the price. I think pretty much, guys, this playbook here, this is going to be the Hyperliquid playbook done by Cronos. And as Ryan is talking about it, it is Cronos V2. Crow V2. He's basically already talking about Hyperliquid here. Dividends and supply reduction. So we're going to work on Crow related dApps. So Crow related business applications that will provide dividends. So basically anyone that uses the platform can use Crow, for example, but also reduces the supply. The playbook is so clear and it works. It's proven. It's a proven playbook, and I'm so bullish about it. I'm so freaking bullish about it, and the fact that we're again at about this support line here, like, it makes sense. Do you guys know the last time we had like a big strategy change? It was here at about 7 cents when we had the 70 billion unburn. That was the last time we had a big play or a big change in direction. We went to about 7 cents. And then we directly went to about 12. Same thing as what kind of happened yesterday, right? We had a big wick up. I think it can be much like this. That does mean, though, that potentially we have a few boring weeks ahead of us. But hopefully still to the upside. And that's where this comes in. I'm going to go to the chat, guys, in a minute, so don't forget to hit the like button and ask your questions or share your opinion. Why is Crow? So I'm okay if you say Crow is dead, right? I'm okay with that, but provide an opinion, not an opinion. provide a reason, because you cannot just make an argument and say it's good. Say it's good because, it's bad because. I can't discuss it like this. I can't discuss it like this. Also, this doesn't work. So, Crypto Alex, it's okay to be here, but if you do not provide any value or, you know, any conversation really, I don't think this is your place. So, no, provide an answer, please. So, we got the other Fractal, and again, for anyone that doesn't know where this has come from, I'm going to give you a quick bit of history again. It is the final wave. It is the final wave. And to give you a bit of context, the last time we had a wave, so for example, this was the, I think this wave, it started with the original 70 billion burn. So we had some momentum, and we went up, and we went down again. Quickly, how much did we go down? About 74%. Or a bit less, guys. I'm over-exaggerating. No. I might not be that wrong. Okay, about 70%. Where the wave, we went down 70% again. But then we went up again. My thesis is that we're gonna repeat this wave structure. You can see so far, we've had many of these waves. Wave. 4 waves. We have now completed 3 waves. And I see personally, guys, this is as one wave. Because we didn't go down all the way here to the low. In my opinion, this is one wave, not 2. Someone may make the argument this is a wave. I don't think so. I don't think this is a wave. So my thesis is that we're going to have a similar story as what happened the last time. And if you overlay here, it also pretty much fits. And we're still on track. And of course, guys, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna say it is perfect, because we went higher. You can see the big wick here. But now we're also going lower. But I would say it's more about the general trend than, you know, where it is exactly at. So if in the next upcoming weeks we see a retracement to the upside, I don't think that would be so strange to see. Let's say, for example, that Ethereum is down about 50% from the high almost now. That's painful, isn't it? I'm down about minus 50% now. Or 45 from the low so far. If at any point, like Bitcoin crosses $100,000, I think Ethereum can have an even quicker move to the upside. And so can different altcoins as well. Once the belief is back in the market, and I think that's the biggest part now. This, guys, is screaming one thing to me. Uncertainty, disbelief. I don't know. Nobody knows. Is it the bull market? Is it the bear market? Nobody knows. And that's exactly why it is trading in this range here. But, as we've shown, the CRO MACD, for example, there is seller exhaustion here. And I think somebody mentioned it right here. CRO is dead. After 4 years, I sold all. One of the final sells. Seller exhaustion. I believe that. What's the reason, though, if you don't mind telling us, Aurelio? What's up, guys? Welcome. The burn means nothing if a 3x the supply. Well, good question. A good argument here, but at some point, I do believe we need to also take a look at the design. At this point, guys, we have the token becoming part of a treasury, which is also on the Nasdaq. Right? It's on the Nasdaq. It's going to be regulated. I don't think they will ever do something like that anymore in the future. Once it's part of treasuries, once it's part really of how do you say that? Of the assets of different companies. I think this is the final time that they can actually pull something off like this. Otherwise, they will get all kind of different investigations. But I think at this point, with what's coming up with the treasury, what's coming up also with the ETF, what's coming up with the new Cronos Lab leadership, I think it's fine. I'm at peace with it now. And like, why? So at this point we have had the unburn, so I think it's okay that we actually can burn again. And this is also the case, guys, for Ethereum. We burn and we mint. I've been waiting for 3 years and it hasn't moved. You can't tell me CRO is going to the moon. I definitely can, and I will. Like, the potential is so clear, and also the technicals are still lining up. There are a few things that are bearish to me. Like the fact that we are now slightly below the rainbow chart. That's something I don't really like to see. But it can also be because my rainbow chart is off. But you can't come to me and say, well, hey, we see all these moves and CRO doesn't make moves? What? CRO has clearly made move. Clearly. The theory of the new CEO is good, but how long is it going to take to execute that? Here we have been waiting for years for a radical change in CRO, and now, as he will do it when all the headlines have capitulated. Good question. I think they can make revenue really quickly. Crypto.com knows how to make revenue. Crypto.com knows how to build. Crypto.com knows how to use the market, how to use marketing. I think they can do it. I think they can do it, definitely. It's a good question though, Jojo. Welcome, welcome. Guys, thank you so much again for 10,000 subscribers. What a day, what a day. Does the CRO price affect your wedding plans? So at this point, Mr. We're Flying Bee, we're not going to the Caribbean anymore, I believe. So yes, unfortunately it will. We also decided, I think, not to sell the bag though. So we'll keep on to it because we're not at a loss, by the way. We're not at a loss. I think we are now basically at where we bought, give or take, the CRO bag. We're going to hold on because, of course, things will come up after the wedding as well. But yeah, it kind of did. Of course, it would have been nice if it would have been higher at this point. But the wedding is not there yet. We still have a few more months. We have to wait 4 more years. I don't believe... No, I don't think so. I've got actually quite a good story for this. I've got a very good story about this, actually. Let me bring it up quickly, guys. Welcome. It's from Raoul Pal. Let me check if I can find it. Welcome, guys. I forgot to hit the like button. I can't find it anymore. Give me 1 sec, guys. I think I will quickly show you a video. Give me a few seconds, and I think the video is actually quite well to explain to you what I want to say to you guys. Give me 1 sec. Oop. There we go. Oh. I need to put off the music. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, there we go. Sit tight, guys, sit tight.
Liquidity and interest payments. The interest payments are obscene going forwards, and the only way of doing this is printing money. So here gives you a chart of the money printing ahead. We've got about $8 trillion of money to print by liquidity in the next 12 months. And this is the chart. Will it map absolutely perfectly every time? No, but it will match over time. So that's the really important chart here. What's driving all of this is actually the cyclicality, not from the Bitcoin halving cycle. It's actually driven by debt maturity cycle. The debt maturity cycle from 2008, what they did was issued all of the debt at 0 interest rates between 3 and 5 years, and we've been rolling those debts ever since. And the debts keep increasing because of the interest payments, and we keep adding liquidity to service the debts. So the interest payments are the thing that's causing the cyclicality. So when we look at the chart of the ISM survey, the business cycle, and we look at the 4-year sine wave, we can see the cyclicality of the economy driven by the debt cycle. Perfectly cyclical until the last year. We didn't get the massive liquidity injection. And I started doing the work thinking, why the hell didn't that happen? And I realized they've actually moved the debt out to 5.4 years. In 2022, they extended maturity because rates went back down to 0 again. So it's extended our cycle. So it's not a 4-year cycle now, it's a 5.4-year cycle. So when you have a 5.4-year cycle, we get this. So we're through the trough of the cycle, and the next is the rise up. And the cycle should peak at the end of 2026, not 2025.
Okay, so according here to Rule Pal, based on the maturing of debt, it should be a 5.6-year cycle or 5.4-year cycle going all the way to the end of 2026. Is this going to be true? I don't know. Nobody truly knows. I do believe, though, that we haven't had the full depth yet of this cycle. That's my personal belief. We can disagree with that, but if I take a look at all the different indicators that we have, let me show you one. Let me show you one for Bitcoin. It's, for example, here the RSI, the monthly RSI. I use this quite a lot, so bear with me, bear with me. The monthly RSI for Bitcoin, RSI. You can see for Bitcoin, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So Bitcoin has peaks. And these peaks are here illustrated by the RSI. So far, we have had a peak in 2013, 2017, 2021. And no, here nothing. I'm not going to sit here and say to you guys that I believe we have had a peak without at least hitting about these levels here. That doesn't sound like a peak to me. That is, though, just based here on 3 data points. And of course, 3 data points is not really that reliable. But is a 4-year cycle then well? Is it reliable? Because also for the 4-year cycle, we only have 3 arguments. So I don't know. I can't say to you guys, looking at this, that we have had a true peak yet for Bitcoin. That's my belief here. I'm bullish again, thank you. No worries. I'm here to provide you hopium. But yeah, this is my what I think is quite interesting here. Let's wait until next year. Maybe crypto will shine, who knows. I think at this point I'm happy. I'm happy with crypto how it is because I can use it for tax write-offs. But let's see. Yo, what have I missed? Do we have any idea what the spike on Bitcoin was? I don't know, sir. It was weird. It was definitely very weird. For anyone that missed it, we had a 1-hour spike here. 1-hour random spike. And then we dipped again. But now, as it seems, we are touching the bottom. And this trend line, guys, is holding on quite strong so far. So I do believe most likely outcome is that probably will be range bound again. I think something like that, like this. I think we'll get a lower high in Bitcoin and some alts go to all-time high. Then Bitcoin forms a head and shoulder. That would be a very interesting one. And I think it's possible, though. It is possible that Bitcoin doesn't go to a new all-time high. I think it's unlikely, though. I think Bitcoin also will go to a new all-time high. But the minute Bitcoin reaches $100,000 again, I think altcoins can go parabolic. We can also see that here we got ETH Bitcoin, the ETH Bitcoin chart. It is still in this range. I do believe, though, it has to go higher. ETH Bitcoin at least has to hit here, this level. And if anything, I think there's a potential for breakout as well. Well, ETH needs to hit at least 0.5, about 0.5, 0.05 for ETH Bitcoin before we see any real altcoin alt season. That's also what Jimmy is hoping for. I think it's possible. And I think also if you take a look here at the overall chart, I think it should be heading in that way next year. I think we've had a bottom so far for ETH Bitcoin. Crazy, by the way. Bottom was at about 0.02. They're saying no comment, actually a comment. I believe so. Trump. Was Trump the spike? What did Trump say? Welcome, Guido. Did Trump buy anything? Is that, by the way, your car, the Mustang? I've heard a crazy story. So Ford, the manufacturer of the Mustangs, they're going to stop creating electric cars. I'm like, what? I'll stop creating electric cars? I thought electric cars are the future. But apparently they're making a big strategic shift for Ford. Ford is, by the way, the original inventor, really, of the... is it the... How do you call it again? Like any industrial manufacturing, I think, has been based on the model by Ford. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Sci-fi, again, same thing for you. I'm okay if you say CRO will drop to 5 cents. Provide me a reason why, though. For example, Exgen is saying CRO is a no-brainer because it has a 2 billion treasury coming along with Burns now. I'm finally feeling good buying again. It's nice and low now at this point. I agree there. And again, I talked about this in our Discord recently. And the whole shift here, the strategic shift, I recommend checking out the video. I read the whole statement. It feels good to me. It makes sense. There is an economic reality below it. There's like a clear vision. And what we have seen, I checked actually the resume by Ryan White, the new CEO. He actually worked at a time at Polygon where there was more growth for the chain. It's not like he was at Polygon president and thinks, we're going in the right direction already. No, he was actually there at an important time. Was he there for a long time? Not really. He only stood there for about 2 years. Same thing also for Optimism. So I do hope he's here for a longer time and he actually sticks with the community a bit longer. And I think, right, he's the CEO. So there's not much higher to go. Of course, you can go to maybe a bigger project, but I believe that this might be well, maybe not the end destination, but definitely one of the higher positions he can achieve, especially working so closely with Crypto.com. Mercedes was actually one of the first car manufacturers. True that. The Germans, yeah. When CRO top. So I just talked about this, but I hate talking about the timeline. If anything is a timeline, I believe we'll be going to the upside again in about May of 2026. When are the midterm elections, though? When are the midterm elections, guys? I don't know. Anyone lives in the US that can tell me? Peter has a target between 8 and 6 cents, but that's maybe just a bit of wishful thinking. Ah, nice. Well done. Peter's asking or thinking about October, November for a top. Well, that's the... So we just had a video, guys, a short video by Raul Powell, and he's saying based on debt maturity, a 5.4-year cycle, meaning late 2026. Also kind of makes sense if you think about when QE. So QE, money printing, probably will be printing again in 2026, but when exactly, or when the big amount, that's of course the big question. It is logically hard not to be bullish on CRO, even with the low prices. It's a great DCA. Bulls, though, must have patience. And patience is really painful. I do agree there. I do very much agree there. Without volume, there's nothing. That's true. We need volume. We definitely need volume. And you can see the volume, it completely spiked here. The volume spiked and the price went up crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's what we need. We need volume. Volume is life. Currently, there is 0 to no volume. I agree there as well. If you burn tokens and then bring them back and then burn them again, it makes no sense. I think, Alex, you have to take a look at the how Ethereum works. But I do agree it's strange, but at this point it makes sense. It was a strategic shift. But at this point, Alex, and it's good to know, there's also a cap set. If you go to the Cronos POS chain, you literally cannot go any higher than 100 billion tokens. It's programmed in the chain. If anything happens that it goes above that limit, the whole chain halts. It stops. The blockchain breaks, basically. It's like, it's the same as in if we would get like 22 million Bitcoin. Looks like a good CEO. And James is saying, well, more bullish than the Trump deal. I agree. So, yeah, I agree. I think the Treasury is the most bullish, though. That the whole Treasury thing that's good. It's really good, actually. I don't know what I think about Trump. I don't know. So as a European, guys, he's putting tariffs on all our products. I don't like that. It's not good. And of course, the question is, when Trump leaves as a president, what does it bring to us? What does it bring really to the company? So the association, of course, it's strong now. What will it be in over 3 years? I don't think that long term, though. I think regarding the partnership, it's good now. I think it's a strong brand. And I think that's important. Guys, it's a treasury company of the president of the United States of America. I cannot be negative about that, right? Time to cook. Yes, yes, yes. The new CEO video made is probably the most bullish video of Crow. I think this new guy will be more loved than Chris if he actually does it. Like, I agree there, because Chris is like a very corporate guy, and Ryan, I think, is a lot more lovable. Has a lot more lovable character. Also because he's more like you and me. He loves gaming. He comes from a content creator background. He's a bro. He shares family pictures on Twitter. Crypto bro. We are flying B is saying, doubt the burns will be significant. That's a good, I would say that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. I think though, they will be, or they can be. And I can show you quickly that, I have to bring this up here, but we talked about Hyperliquid, right? Hyperliquid being here, the example that Crow can follow. Hyperliquid is making tons and tons of revenue. I think I have to go to DeFi Llama. I need to find the, where is it? There is a specific chart, I forgot where it is, but it shows revenue over a certain amount. Okay, let's do it like this here. Is this the one? Ah, here it is. So, this is one chain, one application. There's one application, ladies and gentlemen, is making $2 million a day. $2 million of revenue. Let's assume that for Crow, we're also going to get a killer dApp. That's, of course, the question. That's the question. Will we get that killer dApp? Because that will make it significant. If we can, let's say we're going to use, let's be simple here. Let's say we're going to use 50% of this to buy back and burn Crow. By the way, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We're now on 10,001 subscribers, so I like that. Let's say we use $1 million a day to buy CRO. And I think that's easily doable because, guys, this was way higher just a few months ago. I think can I go to the Hyperliquid now? Hyperliquid is the example I want to use. And by the way, if anyone says it's only an anomaly here, I can show you multiple examples of a lot of dApps that create revenue. One app here, Palm.fun, still creating $1 million a day on revenue. $1 million a day. Crazy stuff. What was I saying? But yeah, if we get about $1 million a day on buybacks, and of course that might take some time, but of course, guys, with Crypto.com, they show they can make a product big and great in a short amount of time. I'm talking, for example, about the stock product. They recently released the stocks, and it made already a lot of revenue, at least from the sources, guys, that I have within Crypto.com. Like, stocks is a great product. It's actually big, but let's not talk about too much about that. So what we have here is one example. And the thing is, potentially we get multiple of these applications. We might get a pump application, a Hyperliquid application, an Aave, an aerodrome, a Jupiter, a DEX. Combine everything. And it can make potentially a lot of revenue, especially, guys, because it's combined with Crypto.com. But let's keep it somewhat reasonable. Let's use 50% of this. Then we get $1 million a day of buybacks. $1 million a day. I don't know if that will happen. I think that it is possible. If we get $1 million a day, that's about 365 a year. Where's CRO now at? Let me take a look at CRO. $353 billion. Currently, the volume is about 18 million. We would go so much higher. We would go so much higher. I have to check. I think, guys, if you do the math, I think in theory, if you have, let's say, about 365 million a year to buy back and burn, I think you will be burning about 1 to 2 or maybe 3%, depending, of course, on the price of CRO. But yeah, if they play the cards well, it can be a massive buy pressure for the CRO token. We'll have to wait and see, though, of course. Nothing is given in this market, unfortunately. Nothing is given. So you can imagine, and just like me, there are many more who are tired of promises and words that are not come to nothing. Well, to be honest, like there were definite promises here, and they are getting delivered. The only thing, guys, is that we're still waiting on the SEC. There are some broken promises, though. I do agree there. There are definitely broken promises, but it's not like they promise something and then, like, not all their promises come true, but the majority of them do come true. But yeah, I definitely agree, though. If you do not trust them anymore, I would maybe go somewhere else with your money. Trust is the most important thing, especially for crypto. The thing with crypto, it has a way of surprising the heck out of people. True. Hi, CoinBaron. What kind of dApps do you believe or hope that could generate revenue for CRO from the new CEO? I do believe, yeah, we just talked about a few examples. That's actually quite funny that you mentioned this here. Yeah, so Hyperliquid, it's leverage. I believe that can be a big one. Pump is a launchpad. I don't think that will be that big in the future. Aave is a good one. Lending. Lending is always good. And we have a few different DEXs. This also will be great. So lending, DEX, and leverage. I think those can be big. Then maybe also, I can't see it here. We also, for example, have prediction markets. Prediction markets, guys, are a big bet really of 2025, maybe also for 2026. The volume can be crazy. Just take a look at, I do believe that prediction markets are very close to betting markets. The whole market share of betting, like sports betting, it's huge. It's huge. And the added benefit, you cannot just do sports, you can also do rate hikes, election results. You can do a lot of things there. So I would say it's the gambling market plus a bit more. The sheer boredom is shaking people out. With a potential change to a 4, 5, or even 6-year cycle, it's also persuading people to quit now. I get that. It's unreliable now at this point. No volume now, true. We need more volume. Weekly close below 10 cents was no bueno. I'm in it for the long run though, so not worried, but I'm also in this for another 5 years. That wasn't cool though, I agree. And it seems I'm probably going to have another weekly close below here. But let's see how deep we can go. How deep can we go? I've been with CDC for 5 years now, but it lately has been very shady. My account keeps having issues like can't withdraw, even after I've submitted all SOF. SOF. I don't know what the SOF is. Source of funds? I haven't had one of those myself, unfortunately, Mr. Crypto Eater. Cashback got reversed. Support no response. Yeah, sometimes you have to really wait. What you can try sometimes, Mr. Eater, is you can go sometimes to the crypto.com Reddit page, and then you can get sometimes also, I don't know, how do you say that? They can prioritize your ticket again, or you can go to the Discord and then say, I have a problem, and wait, don't respond to all the scammers, but wait for an official ambassador or official support people on the Discord. I know it's a hassle, but that's sometimes how you can get things best resolved. That's unfortunate though. My cashback though is still working fine. Exactly, I understand that you have to give hope to the community because they are ambassadors, but it is enough that the community are the ones who always lose what they lose now that the chat stops here. I am, by the way, guys, not saying this because I'm an ambassador. Just to give you a very clear thing here. I have a lot of money on the CRO token. I am balls deep, as they say. I wouldn't be saying this if I myself wasn't invested in the token. Like, I'm probably I'm deep in this stuff, and I trust it. I trust it, guys. I trust it. Anyone know Sam Irwin? I don't know. Apparently director of VIP relationships. No clue, Crush, no clue. I was pointing out earlier that we are more likely to see something happen next year with the new Fed chair. We will do Trump's bidding plus proper QE to be introduced. Especially with the worsening job market, guys. It is back to 2021 levels. So COVID times. It is bad now, the job market. Or not bad, not bad, not 2008 bad, but not good. It's also important to not look at the crypto ecosystem in isolation. It's closely linked to how many dollars are out there. True that. That's also, I think, a video by Rule Paul is quite interesting. The production line, that was what made Ford great again. True. I heard about the news from Trump could have caused a candle. What was the news today? I missed it. Okay, so we'll have the midterm elections in about November time. Interesting. So November. We could have a peak in November. Xgen kept his card for rewards this month. Do you have like, I don't know, so Xgen in the UK, are there multiple like credit cards or crypto cards that provide you benefits like that? I don't know. I would try, I think over here in the EU, we also have the Bybit card. So if you are maxing out, I could maybe check if you can use Bybit to get some additional gains. And the best thing you can do then is you use Curve. Curve is a system. It's one card to rule them all, basically. So it links multiple cards to just one credit card. So you spend with the Curve card. And then what you do is the Curve card will get it from crypto.com or get it from a different card, depending on whatever you want. You can create like rules. So like say like, hey, after X amount of spending, I want to use this card. You can automate it quite a bit. And also if you use the premium by not by Revolut, by Curve, you can also get some additional cash back at certain stores. But yeah, something you might want to check out. USA pays most NATO. Well, they have the biggest army. No new rainbow chart, no. As we talked about last week, the rainbow chart has had prior periods where we were briefly below it, but we reversed. If we are multiple weeks though at this level, I'm going to call it quits. Like what we had here, I would say like 3-4 weeks. That's not a trend. However, if we are doing something like this for a long time, I have to redraw it. Maybe provide some more curvature. So some other rainbow charts, they also do more like this. Maybe it's more like that. I have to check in and do some more math then in that case. But yeah, this is a logarithmic chart, by the way. But no new rainbow chart, yeah. Big Rob is waiting for the bear market. I don't think so, sir. We also, by the way... Oh, we need some music. Am I so boring? Am I that boring? Teddy. Let me bring up some music quickly then for you. Special for you, sir. Special for you, sir. Anytime under 10 cents is bearish, but best time to DCA. Under 10 cents, it's always time to buy. Be patient, we will be okay long term. I still need to do a time to buy video, it's true. I was asking on your video about the new CEO and the burn announcement that I want to know how the burn works. So would it be all profit or a percentage? So what I would do, if I was the CEO, I would do about 50% because, yeah, you need to pay for the service, pay for personnel, you need to pay for marketing. And probably, like, to be fair, guys, there will be need for a lot of marketing expense there as well, because without it, how can you grow, adapt to profitability, right? Wedding gift from Flying Bee in 2026, all things crypto being well. I would like that. I would like that. And we need all of these things in one app. People getting turned off by needing 3 apps to get the job done. I don't know. I don't know, Cyborg. Because these apps... I would say it's more like the internet, right? If you want to... yeah, you might be actually right, because recently people have been using also AI instead of Google. I don't mind going to multiple websites. You basically open up the on-chain wallet or any other wallet. You open up the browser and you go to a certain specific function. But you might be right there. I also kind of like, though, that things are separated. For example, I don't want my prediction markets in the crypto.com app. I don't want sports betting. I don't want. I want stocks, but at some point maybe you get a bit too much. Recently, I have like the stock app, and the stock app included some social things now. You can chat, you can follow somebody else buying certain stocks. I'm like, I don't want this. I just want to buy stocks, sell stocks, and see how much balance I have. That's all I want. I don't want to see that Joe bought X stocks of Nvidia for X amount of euros on day X, Y, and Z. Thing with the in-app support is that's exclusively AI chat. I don't know. I don't think it's only AI. It's been bad for a long time already, even before the AI time. Someone ought to come up with an app that rewards users with Crow. You could create Crow lingo that gives Crow to people who level up. I would like that, sir. I would love that. Learning languages. I would love to learn Chinese. The bro bought 20 cents plus. Even that wasn't even that bad, right? I got some friends of mine who also bought Crow at about 20 cents. I feel bad for them, but yeah, I know. They bought with FOMO. I was like, I've been talking about Crow like for a very long time, and there are so many opportunities to buy Crow when it's low. And again, this is like Christmas discount again. So I don't feel bad for you if you buy Crow when it's high. And eventually, I do believe, like, this is still relatively low, right? Even if you bought the Pico top here, or even here, there is still more room to the upside. Carlos, welcome, welcome. Ouch. Peter's saying, check the Fold card or the Gemini Bitcoin card. Last time I had an issue, I DM'd Chris. That's also an option, guys. DM Chris. I don't know where though. Where can you DM Chris? Hey, Skyblue, welcome. Is Crow at $2 yet? Soon. Soon. Where have you been, Skyblue? I love the boarding music though. Hey, Skywalker, thank you so much. Welcome to the Strap Club. Today is a special day, guys. 10,000 subscribers. Oh no, yeah. 10,000 subscribers, but also a new member. So thank you very much, Skywalker, for sticking in here. The pot of gold is at the bottom of the rainbow chart. Yeah, if we inverse it. Yeah, let's do that, guys. This is where the pot of gold is. Here we have the pot and the gold. So we have to go this way. At the bottom of the rainbow chart. When will they have the streaming in the next 2 weeks? Good question. Is it Christmas next week already? Is it Christmas already? I'm in trouble. What should I get my girl for Xmas? Suspenders. Suspenders, sir. Let me quickly check the schedule, guys. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a mess now with the Christmas days because I'm having the missus is having some days off now, so I can't be there tomorrow. It's Christmas next week. Okay, good question. So there will definitely be a stream on Sunday, the 28th. I think we'll skip one stream next week, Mr. Björn. Yeah, I think we'll next week do just one. We have one on Sunday. I'm not gonna bother you guys on Christmas Day with the stuff. Oh, there we go. Matt Damon sold me Crow for $1. Matt Damon, man. What a bro. He got so much backlash for the commercial crypto.com. And next time turn in early, please. I will try to not be late again, Teddy. Thank you for the reminder. And buy some Crow for her. I think the missus wants to smell nice, so I think I need to buy something different though this time. I bought enough Crow. What are your thoughts on the next pump? Looking back, it looks to fall each time. Do you think after all the good news, it will at least find a higher low when it does pump? So I've got a theory, Sky Blue. I've got a theory. So you have maybe heard about the treasury company, and the treasury company has a war chest. They have plenty of US dollars to buy. So if I was a treasury company, where would you buy? Where would you put in the majority of your money? Would you buy at the top, or would you buy when the price is relatively low? My guess is the following. My guess is that the treasury company, the Trump Media CRO strategy group, they will probably buy when the price is relatively low. And I think with all the cash in the war chest, they can keep the price at a relatively high low. That's my guess. That's my guess. They might be able to create a so-called floor price. And maybe so I would do two things. I would first and foremost make sure we create a bit of FOMO, have some buys, get the first, people excited, and then also when the price goes down again, keep it somewhat higher. That's my belief. I think it can stay elevated for a longer time. It needs to go up first though. So my belief is that we first go up again, and then in 2027, when we go down, probably we stay at about the green line. So I think the new lows 15, maybe even 20 cents. That is my thought here. But well, of course, I don't know exactly. Yeah, I bought some Crow for the missus. I buy all my friends Crow, or well, not all my friends. When do you think the ETF will be coming out for Crow? It is planned for Q1 of 2026. Q1, so in theory, only 3 more months. Guys, I want to say a few things. Again, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. I know the market isn't always easy. I know. And I do know, though, that typically patience is rewarded. So I would say don't forget to stay strapped in. Don't forget to hit the like button. And we will be here again on Sunday, the last time before Christmas. So make sure you're strapping into the Sunday pre-Christmas stream. And then we'll be back again just before the new year. Yeah. Just before the new year, guys. So, again, thank you so much. We will be back very shortly, also with some new videos. So, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and don't get stressed too much. That's also, I think, very clever. Have a lovely Christmas, well. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.